Good morning. This is Chloe Papadakis, and this is today's Quiet Echo. In the exhibit barn at the fair last week, I watched a judge break a girl's heart for about 90 seconds, and then hand her a red ribbon, and then send her off perfectly happy. I have been thinking about it every day since, because I believe I watched somebody solve a problem I have been failing to solve for 20 years. The girl was maybe 12 years old. She had entered a wooden box she had made herself, dovetailed at the corners, and she stood there while a woman she had never laid eyes on before turned it slowly around in her hands. The judge said the finish was lovely. She said the grain had been matched with real care. And then she set the box down on the table, and she put one finger on a corner of it, and she said the joint had a gap in it, right here. And here is why it happened, and here is exactly what to do differently next time. And the girl looked down at the gap. She had not seen it before. Nobody had ever told her, and she had needed somebody too. Then the judge wrote it all down on her sheet, and she signed her name at the bottom of it, and she handed it across to the girl. And the girl read it and nodded and picked up her box and went off to find her mother. Now, here is the part almost nobody outside of a fair barn knows. 3 tables away, a boy's box took a blue ribbon, and it did not cost the girl one single thing. Because a county fair does not judge children against each other. It judges the work against a standard. It is called the Danish system, and it has been the way of things in the barns for something like 100 years. Before it came along, fairs ranked the entries one against another, best to worst, and only the top handful got anything at all, the way you would run a foot race. And then, somewhere around 1900, the fairs quietly gave the whole thing up. Under the Danish system, the judge holds your work up against the ideal of the thing. Not against the boy's box, against what a box ought to be. And if your work meets the standard, you get the blue ribbon. And so does he. And so does every last child who meets it. There is no limit on blue ribbons. If every child in the class does excellent work, then every child in the class carries home excellent. And if the work is only fair, there is a white ribbon for it, and the white ribbon says what it means, and everybody in the barn knows what it means. Nobody in the barn ever wins because another child lost. It is a very small thing to say out loud, and it is an enormous thing to grow up inside of. And before you decide it all sounds a little soft, go back and look again at the girl with the gap in her joint. She did not get a blue ribbon. She got a red one, and she was told precisely why, out loud, by a woman who then put her own name on the paper. And this, I think, is what our own century keeps failing to build. We have gotten very good at 2 things, and neither one of them works. We rank people against each other, which quietly teaches a child to hope her neighbor fails. Or else we hand something to everybody, so nobody has to feel the sting, which teaches a child the praise means nothing at all. And they are not fools. They know exactly what their own work looks like. The barn does neither one. The barn tells the truth about the work kindly, out loud, with a name signed underneath it. And then it lets every single person who did the work well be honored, all at once, with no ceiling on it whatsoever. I have planned gatherings for a living for 20 years now, and I will tell you the one thing which keeps me awake, every single time. The awards night, every year. I sit with the list, and I know exactly what is going to happen. I will call one name, and one person will walk up to the front and be delighted, and 40 other people will sit in their folding chairs and clap and feel a little smaller than when they came in. And I have tried everything to get around it. I have given out more awards. I have given out awards for effort, and awards for improvement, and awards nobody quite believes in. And every year the room knows exactly which awards are real, and which ones I made up to spread the good feeling around. And all this time, 3 miles out of town, in a barn full of sawdust and jam jars, a woman with a clipboard has been doing it right. The fair is running this week. So go, and skip the midway. Walk into the exhibit barn, where it smells of sawdust and vinegar, and read the little cards sitting beside the jars and the boxes. It is some of the most honest writing you will find anywhere in this county. And then take it home with you and use it on somebody, on your child's work, on the young person you supervise, on your own. Say what is good and mean every word of it. Say where it falls short and be exact about it. Measure it against what the thing ought to be, and never, ever against the person standing next to them. And then sign your name to it. Because a judgment nobody will put a name to is not a judgment at all. It is just weather. The front porch is open. Did a judge or a teacher or a foreman ever tell you the exact truth about your work and sign their name to it? Come and tell us. And if we get something wrong, tell us, and we will run the correction. The readers of the Cedar Valley News are gathering to share their stories and keep company with respect and no party lines. Come sit with us. I will put the link in the show notes. This is Chloe Papadakis, your host for today's Quiet Echo. Thanks for listening. Quiet Echo is part of the fictional Cedar Valley News series, written by Evan Swenson, publisher, and Claude Marshall, developmental editor. While the people and town of Cedar Valley are fictional, the Danish judging system described here is real. In 4-H, entries are evaluated against a pre-established standard rather than against one another. There is no limit to the number of blue ribbons awarded in a class, and judges are instructed to name what was done well, be specific about shortcomings, and sign the score sheet. Sources: the Cooperative Extension Services of Montana State, Oregon State, Rutgers, Washington State, and the University of Connecticut.
You've been listening to the Cedar Valley News Podcast, where small-town voices meet the headlines shaping our world. From faith and family to front porches and fields. We'll be back with more stories connecting real lives to real events. Until next time, keep your porch light on, your faith strong, and your heart open. This is Cedar Valley News.